Hey y'all, I'm Derek and welcome back to Bad Movie Friday Night. Well, tonight we do have a movie for you. But before we get into it, let me tell you a little bit about one of my favorite films, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Creature from the Black Lagoon is a 1954 creature feature filmed in 3D. The story is about a geology survey team going to the Amazon and searching for fossils of a possible missing link in evolution, a half-fish, half-human hybrid. They end up in a lagoon and find a living creature of the same ilk as the fossil. And while they try to capture it, the creature has feelings about it and fights back, as well as falling in love with one of the scientists played by Julie Adams. This film is atmospheric and sensational, with wonderful underwater cinematography and great acting for the type of film it is. This film is considered a classic horror film, and spawned 2 sequels as well as several talks of reboots. In fact, this film is one of the inspirations for the Academy Award-winning film The Shape of Water, where Guillermo del Toro envisions the love story between the creature and Julie Adams actually blossoming. So what does this have to do with today's movie? Well, The Creature from the Black Lagoon was written by a man named Harry Essex, a film and television writer who had a career that spanned 50 years until his death in 1997. This was his first movie that he directed and wrote the story for. And it's a bit of a doozy. It's called Octaman! And to go along with it, I'm making a classic food, beer-battered fish and chips. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm sifting together my dry ingredients: flour, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and paprika. So let's get started. Our movie begins with a voiceover with stock footage. Oh boy, that's a good start. You see, this kind of opening was a popular trope in 1950s B-movie science fiction films. It's a quick and easy way to set the movie's tone and themes. Then, we jump to a scientist, Rick, talking about how currents and tides of the ocean have spread radiation across the world and have contaminated the seafood at this small Central American village to the point that they've consumed 100 times more radiation than normal. Okay, so he's right to a point. Radioactive particles can be moved by waves and tides, but they're particles. It's not like a giant blob of evil floating in the seas. It dissipates over area. Anyway, they're about to call it a day on the survey when someone comes up with a "Those eyes, they want to eat my soul." So, Rick decides to go to the university to ask for more money to investigate the new octopus. And while he's away, the camp is attacked by Octaman. Well, that was quick. So let's finish our batter. I've already beaten in an egg, and to that we're going to add 12 full ounces of beer. I prefer using darker beers myself because it adds a low level of flavor and also a better crisp. Then we're just going to mix it together so that there are no lumps. Well, Rick's boss is not impressed and harumphs him out of the university. Rick's girlfriend introduces Rick to a cowboy who, in turn, introduces him to a carny who will bankroll the expedition if they capture an octopus man alive. So, the group returns to the campsite and find one of the workers dead. The next morning, the camp is visited by white people dressed as Mexican stereotypes, one of whom agrees to guide them to where the Octaman lives. The other 2 decide to go home and get attacked by Octaman. I have to say, I love saying the name Octaman. It sounds like a reject from the Justice League. Okay, so while all that was going on, I just whipped up an easy tartar sauce. All you do is, to a base of mayonnaise, add a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of dill salad cubes, some diced onion, and salt and pepper. Now, if it's too loose, you just add more mayonnaise. If it's too dry, you add a little bit more vinegar. So, then everyone just sits and talks philosophical and sits.
In a place like this, you begin to think of God and creation.
The question is, have we improved any since creation?
And then they jump up to hunt for more octopi. And while the scientists run off, the carny is attacked by... Everyone say it with me. Octaman! And one of the scientists get killed. Everyone comes back and then goes out again, and Octaman returns to attack the RV while the girl and the carny are inside. The carny shoots him, and he runs back off into the lake. Rick and the boys go out to hunt him in a boat. But Octaman returns to the RV, knocks out the carny, and kidnaps the girl. This is starting to sound really familiar. Wait. A water monster from Latin America falls for a female scientist and tries to kidnap her? This is Creature from the Black Lagoon! Seriously, this is a ripoff of Harry Essex's own Creature. Anyways, the boys return to camp to stop Octaman before he gets back to the water by setting a small fire around him.
Keep away from him, Steve. The fire will burn up the oxygen all around him.
Yes, that small little grease fire is going to asphyxiate a 6-foot-tall octopus man. Good job, team. And so, Octaman passes out and they dope him up and cover him in a net. So the carny wants to leave, but Rick says no. And of course, that gives Octaman time to escape. So Dirty Gonzalez, the slowest stereotype in all of Mexico, takes them to the last place the creature would hide. Along the way, the RV is stuck because of a log in the road. And Dirty goes off to hunt Octaman. They follow him to a cave, and they walk, and they walk, and then attack! Octaman traps them in the cave. Dun dun dun! So let's fry our fish. I'm using cod, which is a nice strong fish with a good flake. We're just going to season it with some salt and pepper, dip it in our batter, and then put immediately into hot oil. Okay, so the group is stuck in the cave, and that goes nowhere, as they find an exit almost immediately. They head back to the RV and are attacked by Octaman. The carny dies, and Octaman takes the girl and starts heading back to the water. But the girl shoots him in the stomach and rolls out of the way just in time for everyone to shoot him dead. And the movie ends with a few bubbles over the water. And now our fish is done. So I'm going to serve it on newspaper or coffee filters in this case, with a load of fries, a side of our tartar sauce, and a cut of lemon. So, final thoughts on the film. What do you expect from a movie called Octaman? This movie is bad. The cinematography is terrible, and that's saying a lot as over half the movie is either just sitting or stock footage. There's a lot of day for night shooting, and some of the camera angles just don't make sense. All the dialogue sounds and looks like voiceover. Although this movie is only 78 minutes long, it's a bit of a slog to get through because the pacing is so slow. The storyline is completely recycled from Harry Essex's great film Creature from the Black Lagoon. The difference is, the Creature from the Black Lagoon was brilliant. Then there's the creature. The creature, well, let's just say Rick Baker has come a long way. Now this all may sound like I hate this film, but no, I like it a lot. It's a perfect movie to get together with friends and riff. I remember watching this with a couple of friends and we didn't stop making each other laugh the entire runtime. I highly recommend this film, so give it a try. So gather up your friends, make some good food, and have a really good time. Well, thanks for stopping by, thanks for tuning in, and come back next week as Bad Movie Friday Night continues.